We're going to talk now to Andrew Allison, who is head of campaigns at Popular Conservatism. Andrew, just ask you to stay there for a second, because we do have some breaking news, as is being reported. Not 100% confirmed, but looks like this is going to be the case. Mel Stride has been appointed Shadow Chancellor by the new leader of the Conservative Party, Kemi Badenoch, and Priti Patel has been appointed Shadow Foreign Secretary. That's very interesting. I wonder what will happen to Robert Jenrick. I think it was said in Kemi Badenoch's speech yesterday or on Saturday that she was sure that she would find a role for Robert Jenrick. I personally hope she does. Otherwise, it'll be division within the Parliamentary Conservative Party all over again. Maybe the clever money is on Robert Jenrick being Shadow Home Secretary. What do you think? Get involved with the show, 0344 499 1000, or indeed you can do what lots and lots of people have done, which is to text 87222 with your message, your question, your opinion. But first off, let's speak to Andrew Allison, who is head of campaigns for Popular Conservatism. Andrew, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Russell.
So where should we start? Well, should we start with that breaking news? What do you think of that? Mel Stride, he was a bit of an outlier, wasn't he? I wouldn't have said Mel Stride would have been in pole position as Shadow Chancellor. Priti Patel as Foreign Secretary, I kind of get that, I think. So I guess he'll want a shadow cabinet that is fairly balanced across those differing views across the Conservative Party, won't he? Right and left being unified. Do you think that's probably what he's going to do? She?
She, yeah. You know, that you're absolutely right, Russell. That's exactly what she is trying to do. Mel Stride was tipped as a possible Shadow Chancellor, so that doesn't surprise me. Priti as Shadow Foreign Secretary, well, that has surprised me, pleasantly surprised me, but it has surprised me. And I did say in an interview at the weekend that I hoped that Robert Jenrick would get the Shadow Home Secretary brief. I know they've got differences over the Rwanda scheme, but I'm sure they've got many more things that unite them than divide them. I think it will be a good fit for Robert to be in that role. So, you know, fingers crossed for that one.
And what will Kemi be thinking? I mean, obviously we're a long way out from the next general election, so 4.5 years or so. I suspect I would be right in saying that those people that are in shadow cabinet positions now will be in different positions by the time we get to that election. What is important now, do you think, Andrew? I guess it's the dispatch box, is it?
Well, I think it is. It's how they perform, you know, how well they scrutinise their opposite number.
Well, there's a lot to scrutinise, in fairness.
Well, there is a hell of a lot to scrutinise. I mean, this government is about as unpopular as any new incoming government has ever been. And you look at Keir Starmer's approval ratings, it was minus 38 or something like that, from about plus 11 just after the election. So, yeah, there is a lot to scrutinise, and you are quite right. These people will change roles. I mean, this is what happens. I mean, we're probably, you know, a good 4 years away from the next general election, and a lot can happen in that time.
Including a potential change of Prime Minister, of course. I wonder if Keir Starmer will last that 4.5 years. My money would be on not, frankly, but let's see. We can all speculate. Let's talk about Dawn Butler, shall we? What do you make of the comments that Dawn Butler made on Twitter over the weekend with regard to Kemi Badenoch's win? Disgraceful, or do you think that she should have kept the whip on the basis it's OK because of her right to free speech? What do you think, Andrew?
Well, it's utterly disgraceful, Russell, isn't it? I mean, if you or I had said something like that, and for the record, I certainly wouldn't say anything like that, and I know that you wouldn't either, but say we had, we'd be castigated. If we were MPs on the backbenches of any political party, you would hope that the whip would be taken away. And I think if it had been a white middle-aged man, for example, saying something like that or agreeing with a tweet.
Well, imagine if it was Nigel Farage or Mark Francois or Steve Baker that had said something similar, they would have been chastised immediately, as they should have been.
They would have done.
And in fact, there is form here, because I think it was Rupa Huck said something about Kwasi Kwarteng being superficially black back in 2022. She had the whip removed for 6 months by Keir Starmer. Why hasn't Keir Starmer removed the whip immediately from Dawn Butler for her racist comments?
That is a very good question, and I can't work out why.
Because they are racist, aren't they?
Well, they are racist. But, I mean, I really feel sorry for these people. I mean, some of these people on the left just genuinely can't work out why a black person would be on the right of British politics. They just can't work that out.
But Andrew, that in itself is the racist element. So,
it is.
Presupposing that Kemi Badenoch should have a particular worldview or political view about immigration because she's black is in itself prejudicial and therefore racist. It is as simple as that.
Well, it is, and I agree with you. But in some ways, though, I feel sorry for these people because they drink the poison.
Do you really? I just think I think they're race-baiting idiots, Andrew. I don't feel sorry for them. I mean, they're in positions of power. Don't forget. So I'm not sure we should feel sorry for them. It's not as if they've been caught in the street and misspoke. They should know better.
Just let me finish, Russ. I'll explain why I feel sorry for them. It's because their brains are so poisoned. They're so full of hate. And I really feel sorry for people who just, cannot sort of live life like the rest of us. And they drink the poison themselves, hoping that somebody else is going to die. And I just wish they were different.
Yeah. Let's just recount exactly what she said, because I don't think we've actually read out the entire tweet, which she has deleted, by the way. She's also in trouble for retweeting something that was equally abhorrent by somebody else around the kind of the black versus white debate, and what you should think if you're black versus what you should think if you're white. I mean, no wonder the country, by the way, is so divided. We've got all these do-gooders, all of these people that want to jump up and talk about racial equality and gender equality on a kind of minute-by-minute basis, but they seem to be the ones like Dawn Butler that actually unnecessarily and inappropriately see everything as a race issue. It's incredible, actually, that she didn't just say to Kemi, just on a woman-to-woman basis, well done for winning the leadership of the Conservative Party. But anyway, this is what she said, Andrew. I know you don't need to be reminded, but just for those listening. So this is what Dawn Butler tweeted. She is the most prominent member of white supremacy's black collaborator class. So she's basically saying that Kemi Badenoch not only is this racist, but she's accusing her of being a white supremacist, not just far right, but this is akin to her being, let's say, a pseudo-member of the Ku Klux Klan, is effectively what she's saying, and that she said it is white supremacy in blackface. I mean, I'm not sure that you could be any more inappropriate, racist or insulting if you tried, and yet this woman is still in the House of Commons as a Labour MP.
Yeah. Exactly, and she should have the whip removed, and perhaps there will be some pressure brought on Keir Starmer in the coming days that will force him to remove the whip. But there's no way she should be sitting as a Labour MP.
Well, you would think, but I think what we know from Keir Starmer, as every kind of week of this government unfolds, is that if there's a misstep and a misjudgment that he can make, he definitely will do so.
Yes, that is true. That is true. I mean, we hope that he would see sense at some point, shall we say?
But of course, look, this is the man that talked about almost draining the swamp. I'm not sure he ever actually used those phrases, but that phrase in particular. But that's effectively what he meant when he said about change and a government of service and things can only get better. I mean, look, they resurrected that famous tune, didn't they? Things can only get better. I mean, we're just not seeing that, are we? And his opportunity here to deal with Dawn Butler and others that might have the view that they have, effectively racist in his party. It's almost reminiscent, actually, of the anti-Semitism that we saw 3 or 4 years ago as a consequence of Jeremy Corbyn's tenure. He has an opportunity here to put his foot down and send a message to the rest of his party and his membership. He's monumentally failed to do so.
Yes. And when you think about it, when he took over as leader of the Labour Party, I think he did a rather good job of trying to stamp out anti-Semitism. But I think that was just a political calculation on his behalf, because he knew that whilst that problem remained inside the Labour Party and was so visible to the public, that there was no way the Labour Party was ever going to get back into power again. But now, as we said, he's Prime Minister. We have a Labour government. He's not dealing with Dawn Butler and the way that he dealt with Rupert Huck, but he should be, because I would say, arguably, that what Dawn Butler endorsed on Twitter was far worse than what Rupert Huck said.
Yeah, and he has the audacity to say that the country has an Islamophobia problem.
Yes.
Absolutely hypocritical to the extreme. Andrew, thank you as ever for joining us and for your wise words.